Do you ever feel like your story just isn't worth sharing? Maybe you freeze at the moment the spotlight's on you? Well, same here. Hey guys, I'm back for another video. We're doing it again. Even though I am the biggest extrovert and I love talking to people, I have zero problems sharing with anyone I come across. As soon as I put a camera in front of me, it's game over. I could become overwhelmed, don't know what to say, suddenly think that what I have to say isn't important anymore. It's a crazy thing, but I am challenging myself to overcome that. One of the big reasons is because every time I share something with people, they seem inspired by it. They ask a lot of questions. There seems to be a lot of interest. I learn from people's stories. I think storytelling is one of the best things about humanity and one of the best ways to grow, to learn from other people what they go through. And it also gives me a great sense of understanding, empathy for others. I get a lot of feedback from people just kind of in awe that I had made this big step moving from Toronto to Texas. I get it. It's not an adventure that everybody feels they have the confidence or the courage to take. I think there's maybe a little bit of something in my DNA where I have like this spontaneity gene, but also just over the years, building this confidence, this courage, this strength, and realizing from every experience that you learn from all of these things. This is also not my first rodeo. This is my third time moving to a new city with no foundation. When I was 20 years old, I had decided I was going to go to makeup artistry school in Vancouver, Canada. I had just moved there on a whim. I don't think I had ever been to the city of Vancouver before. I didn't know anybody there. I did it. I moved to a new city. Lots of people do that. When they go off to college, they go to university. So I did that. And then at age 28, I moved to Toronto. Had never been there, didn't know anybody, didn't have any friends, didn't have a job. I had no place to live, nothing. But 3 months later, I had packed up 2 suitcases and I flew to Toronto and I just started a new life there. Big risk equals big reward. I spent 9 years in Toronto. I had a great life there, but I felt a calling. I felt a calling on my heart that it was time for me to go. I was just feeling like I was reaching the point of like growth there, experience there. I really felt called to come to Dallas, Texas. I was looking for opportunity and I just thought, that's gotta be the place. And I was like, I'm going, because the worst thing that could happen is that I just come back, which I will eventually have to come back regardless. I'm not at the point where I'm able to get a visa yet, so I'm still here just as a visitor. So I say I'm moving, but I say I'm moving because I no longer have a home in Canada. But I will have to go home at some point back to Canada until I'm ready to apply for my visa. Hopefully that's not too long. So if you guys want to send any prayers, that would be really great. But anyways, this is part of my journey. So all I want to say really about taking leaps of faith is like, you always just have to look at what's the worst that can happen. For myself, the worst that could have happened is that I couldn't afford it here. I didn't meet people. I didn't like it, whatever it is. I could just easily pack up and drive back to Canada. I have a family, friends, community. The worst thing that could have happened is that I just have to go back. Of course, I'm not advocating for people to go take these big risks if there is a huge implication if things don't go well. For me, it wasn't much different than living in Toronto, running my business from there, and moving here, having new experiences, meeting new people. Honestly, it's been the most unbelievable experience I've ever had. The people that I've met has been the absolute best part. I've met people at church, at Run Club, Canadian friends through other friends who are also living here, people at the gym. I could walk down the street and meet like 5 people and become friends with them. And honestly, what I've found with Dallas specifically is the people are so lovely here. There's so much kindness. There's so much generosity, graciousness with other people. I truly, truly feel blessed, and I wouldn't have changed it for anything. One of the biggest reasons that I struggle to share things on social media is because I feel like people simply just don't care. But that couldn't be further from the truth. There's certainly gonna be people even my friends, whatever, that don't care, and that's totally fine. But at the same time, there's gonna be people that resonate with parts of my story or resonate with the journey, something. I think every person who probably shares something, writes a book, writes a blog, vlogs, whatever, they probably are experiencing the same thing and thinking that people just don't care, but somebody does. And so it's worth just sharing, at least at the end of it. When I'm like 80 years old, I can look back at these videos, I can remember my experiences, I can look at how cute I looked. You just never know what's gonna happen. And one of the biggest hurdles that I have to get over is that just feeling that little insecurity that I'm gonna share and nobody cares. But whatever, I care. I care to share because I want to get better at it. So that's what's happening. I also kind of feel like my day-to-day life, even though I'm living this like cool adventure in Texas, maybe doesn't seem that interesting to people. A lot of the times I'm just like working, but you know, I do some fun things sometimes. I think sometimes we look at what's happening with social media these days, and you know, that whole aesthetic vibe was so trendy for so long, but I'm learning now that the aesthetic vibe is kind of over. People love this like raw, authentic vibe. I think a lot of the times we think that we're not interesting because our lives don't look like this aesthetic reel, this aesthetic Instagram page. Some of the most popular creators or accounts are people that are just doing regular everyday things, and people love that. It's crazy to me that we love to watch cleaning videos. I love to watch like a day in the life of a mom of a 2 and a 4-year-old. Like, I don't have kids. Like, why do I want to watch that? But I do. Or there's a stay-at-home dad that cleans his house. Like, I love that account. So who knows? Maybe someone who's completely unlike me in any sort of way, shape, or form may watch my content and just think it's the best thing ever. Just never know who's gonna relate to you and who you're gonna relate with. Life is what you make it, right? So I'm Jaylene. Welcome to my channel. This is my second video. If you like what you hear, or you just want to give me a little pity, like, subscribe, that's okay. I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna bring some stuff that you want to watch. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Even if you like want to make fun of me, share it with somebody else, because your hate is going to benefit me. Thank you so much to my haters. Just kidding.